Okay, hello everybody. Today we will be doing this assignment here, March 10th, percent change with exponential functions. So be sure, go to Canvas, go to Home, and then the assignment on Canvas is this one right here, okay? So this is the one we're doing today. Click on that so you can get the translations. So you want to open up the translations, okay? Here's the assignment again, but if you don't have the assignment and you're not in class, you can click on that. This is the video you're watching right here. And then this is the document you want to download for the translations so that you can, if you need to translate things, you can translate them here, okay? So here's the questions so you can translate when you need to, okay? So the first question we have is these right here, okay? Okay, so the first thing is to realize that when we have a percent change, that the formula looks like this. Okay, so the percent change formula is going to be, or the function is going to be or it's the growth function, and it's going to be f of x equals, remember, our regular exponential function is this, right? But for percent increase decrease, it's going to be like this. This is still going to be your beginning value, right? So that's your begin. This right here is still your growth, right? But how do we get growth for a percent increase decrease? Well, B is going to be equal to 1 plus the percent divided by 100. Okay. Or maybe if it's increase, okay? And that's to the power of t or x. So if we're doing x, then this actually should be x. Sorry. This is going to be, let me use my eraser here. So, but it's for the time in years, right? Okay. So it's for the time. So this is x, okay? So that's that. But this is what b is equal to, okay? But that's if it is an increase. If it's a decrease, which it gets less, then what you have to do is you have to go 1 minus the percent over, you have to divide by 100 and then to the power of x. So that's would be your b if it's a decrease, okay? So let's go ahead and look at the problems that we have here. So number one, so write these notes here. Make sure somewhere you got your notes, okay? So these are your notes. So we, number one says, okay, so make sure you go back to the translation. Now we're going to be looking at number one. So make sure you look at this, okay? Go back to your translation, read that, make sure you understand it. But we're looking for a function that begins at 200. Okay, so it begins at 200, right? So we know that from our function, a is the beginning, right? So if we have a function like this, y equals a times b to the power of x, then the beginning is going to be the 200. So we're going to have, and of course, y is going to be f of x, right? So f of x is equal to this 200, okay, multiplied by something to the power of x. Now remember, we want to get b, right? So this is an increase by 10%, okay? So we're going to use this one right here, okay? So we're going to go, so our b in this case is going to be equal to 1 plus 10, so the 10% divided by 100, okay? If you do 10 divided by 100 in your calculator, let's see what we get on the calculator. Based on the calculator, we're going to go parenthesis 1 plus, and then we're going to go 10, and then we have to do divided by. Remember, it's divided by 100 parenthesis, okay? And that is going to be 1.1, okay? So let's go back to there. So that means that this over here is going to be 1.1, okay, to the power of x. So that means we're going to have, this becomes over here, 1.1, okay? So that's how we get it. I'm still on number 1, sorry. Okay, so that's 1.1, okay? So then we're going to look for this one over here in the answer choices. So first of all, 200, yes, yes. And it's got 1.1, so that means the answer choice is A, okay? So that would be the function, okay? So the next one is, number 2 is 500, it begins at 500, so we're going to need something like, okay, so we're going to need f of x equals, so it's going to begin at 500, right? Times this to the power of x. So it's got to have 500 here. Yes, no, yes, maybe. So maybe, let's see if I can get my pen to work. Maybe 500, 0.85. No, that's in the wrong place, right? It's not in the beginning. So it's either going to be A or D. But how do we determine the growth? Well, the growth in this case is decreased by 15%. So we have to go parenthesis 1 minus for the decrease is minus, okay? And then 15 divided by 100 to the power of x. So we do the same thing in our calculator. If I can find it. So we go parentheses 1 minus 15 divided by 100, parenthesis, enter is 0.85, okay? So that means we need this to be 0.85 is your B, okay? That is going to be this part right here, 0.85, okay? 0.85. So that's going to be A again, okay? So that's how you do problems like this, okay? You convert them over. Number 3, we're going to actually use, so everybody please read the question set for number 3. You should have read it for number 2, right? But now let's read it for number 3, okay? Please translate this to make sure you got it. Okay, so number 3 is saying that $6,000 is invested in a business. So that right there is what we're starting with. And then the investment increases each year by 13%. So that means we have the regular exponential functions y equals a times b to the power of x. So that means we've got our function is going to be y, or we can do f of x, okay, is equal to what? Well, the beginning is there. That's what we start with. So it's going to be 6,000, parenthesis, and it increases each year by 13. So what do we do with that? When it's an increase, we go 1 plus 13 divided by 100, and that is equal to 1.13. So that's your growth factor, okay? That's your B. So I'm going to put that right there. And then to the power of X number of years, and we're doing 5 years. So actually this should be 5, okay? So that should be 5 from right here, okay? So if we do that, we're going to be able to figure out how much it is. So we're going to get our calculator again. And we're going to go 6,000. Oops, cleared. I've made too much. 6,000, parenthesis, 1.13 parenthesis to the power of 5, and we get 11,054. Okay, so let's pick the closest one. Ugh. Okay, 11,054. So then that means D is definitely the closest. Okay, so that's how we do that. Okay, now we're on to number 4. Number 4. So please read the question stem for number 4. But so we've got a small village, population is 5,000, but now it's decreasing or getting smaller by 5% each year. It should say each year, sorry. Okay, so what will the population be after 6 years? Okay, so let's see. So the small village has 5,000, so y equals, so that's going to be our beginning value, 5,000 And now it's going to decrease by 5%. So when it's decreased, we need to go 1 minus. Remember, it's minus, and then 5 over. Okay, so that's going to be our growth. That's going to be our B, right? So if you do that on your calculator, you would get 0.95, okay? So 0.95 to the power of what? It's going to do 6 years. Okay, so we go to our calculator, we do that. Go 5,000, so we go 5, 1, 2, 3, parenthesis, 0.95, parenthesis, to the power of, how many years was it? 6 years, okay, it was 6 years, power of 6, enter, and I get 3675. Let's pick the closest to it. 3675, that's going to be D again, okay? So that's how you do these kind of problems, guys. So make sure you take notes. And now what I would like you to do is to finish the assignment. Okay, now we have practice questions. We have 5 through 12. It's the same kind of questions, so make sure you use your notes, and that's how you do it.